I'm Jeff Kloss of the American Cancer Society's West Region. I'm so grateful that you joined us this evening. We're all here because we care about the fight against cancer. While this fight is always critical, it's even more urgent now. The pandemic is threatening our life-saving work, and cancer patients are more vulnerable than ever. Sadly, almost 80% of cancer patients in active treatment report delays in their care due to COVID-19. Like many of you and your loved ones, I myself have heard the devastating words, "You have cancer," nearly 20 years ago. I know the courage and determination it takes to battle the disease. Having cancer is hard, but having cancer during a pandemic could seem insurmountable. Tonight, we will hear stories of inspiration and hope. We'll also have the opportunity to celebrate loved ones who have triumphed over cancer and to honor those who have lost their battles. As you enjoy this evening, I ask you to consider the urgent need before us. The pandemic and the resulting economy have the potential to reduce our ability to fund cancer research by 50%. At risk are better treatments and discoveries that could save lives. We cannot let cancer have the advantage. We cannot allow fewer resources to stop the progress we've been making. Any delay in discovering the next cancer breakthrough means lives lost. Your support is critical to ensuring cancer research is funded at the highest levels. Your gift, no matter how large or small, helps ensure the American Cancer Society is there for patients 24 hours a day, every day of the year, with information and support when it's needed most. Thank you for standing with the American Cancer Society to ensure the fight continues during this difficult time. Thank you for your volunteerism and your financial support. We couldn't do this life-saving work without you.
Good evening and welcome to the 2020 Hope at Home pre-show honoring the Sacramento Hope Gala. I'm Edie Lambert with KCRA3 and I am honored to be your host this evening. We'll begin our program shortly, but for now, I invite you to grab a cocktail and enjoy some footage from last year's Sacramento Hope Gala, as well as some recognition for our wonderful sponsors. Of course, tonight's virtual Hope at Home event is something very new for us, but the bottom line is all about attacking cancer, and we are so glad you're here.
These days, it's easy to feel helpless. Like the world moves without regard for love, like together is a past tense, and our future is uncertain. It's easy to feel like our problems are too big to solve.
I asked myself, why me? But then I realized that cancer doesn't discriminate. Cancer can happen to anybody.
But every big problem is just a series of small ones. The vague but striking fear of a diagnosis, lessened with every late-night question answered. The complex web of individual diseases, untangled with every rogue cell understood. The reality that treatment is out of reach, eliminated with every right to treatment coordinated, and every place to stay secured. The overwhelming burden of the work left to do lowered with every fundraising goal met and every life-saving bill passed. We can't end cancer alone. But when each one of our 1.5 million volunteers, staff, and researchers solves a small problem, hope gets bigger.
100 tickets, and the deal with this is at $100 each. If your ticket is drawn, you get to pull whatever you want out of the live.
Those types of innovations are important, but it's also critical for us to thrive in the modern social good economy. Here at the Society, we've also worked with a core group of staff to create an innovation process, which I think is incredibly important for the specific community that we're in, as innovation is an incredibly important core to the development and the sustainability of the greater Sacramento community and areas. So all of these steps are critical really for us to help save more lives, which is most important to us. But your support of the American Cancer Society is incredibly critical for this area, its county, and beyond, because it strengthens our ability to even become better partners across the entire state and across the entire region. It's through dedication of volunteers who have a passion for the mission of the American Cancer Society and through your support that allows us to continue to make a difference in people's lives. Therefore, I'd like to thank a few key folks tonight who have helped us put this together. Of course, our host, Todd Screama. Our amazing Board of Ambassadors Chair, Maria Kaufman. Of course, our guest of honor, Lisa Ling. And our very special honoree tonight, Melody O'Brien, and her family sharing her story. So as I exit the stage, I'd like to now introduce you to our guest of honor, Lisa.
12 years old, and after she passed, as you can imagine, my family and I went into a pretty dark place. We just couldn't fathom how someone so young and innocent could be afflicted with such a disease. The month of September, as most of you probably know, is Childhood Cancer Awareness Month, and each year in the United States, nearly 16,000 children between birth and 19 years of age are diagnosed with cancer. It is the second leading cause of death in children from age 1 to 14. But according to your organization, the American Cancer Society, because of major treatment advances in recent decades, more than 80% of children with cancer now survive 5 years or many more. It's been 25 years since I lost my cousin Allie. She'd be 39 years old this year, and I think about her all the time. You know, I think about whether she would be married right now. I think about whether she'd have kids. And I also think about whether if she were diagnosed today, given the incredible advances, if things might be different, if she might have been able to have fared better. And that's what this night is all about. Giving kids whose lifestyle could possibly have contributed to their affliction a better chance at life. Now, we've heard from a number of people tonight, from Edie and Todd, Jeff, and there isn't a single person on earth who hasn't been affected by cancer somehow. My husband, who is a radiation oncologist, told me that it is currently the #1 cause of death in the world. It's really astounding. And so investing and supporting in research that will save more lives is fundamental to our humanity. And so I applaud and I thank all of you for the work that you do with the American Cancer Society and for supporting this incredible organization.
Think that you're alone in your battle. Never give up. There's always hope. And with a grateful heart and a prideful soul, we can conquer whatever comes at us. Since 2010, when I was first diagnosed, I went into remission. And unfortunately, this year it came back. And so we're fighting a battle again. And not being alone through this whole battle and journey is a key component. So much has been done with the Cancer Society and the dollars that they raise through events like this throughout the country. And I'm hoping that tonight we can break records. I want people to raise their hands, raise those paddles, bid on items, don't be bashful. We're going to beat this disease, hopefully in our lifetime. I really believe that this could be, cures can be found through research, and because of the dollars that are raised with events like this, I think we can get there. We can beat this thing. The positive attitude will always prevail. Cancer can't beat you unless you give up. And people like me just don't give up that easy. And so with the hope and desire to just live another day, that's a gift. And because of the dollars raised, I believe that that's what's going to happen.
To the work that we do. So another round of applause for you.
And with that being said, we have to give another round of applause to Maria Kaufman because she is amazing. And I signed the contract to co-chair next year. We only agreed if you were going to be our third co-chair with us because we cannot do it without you. And we also want to give a special thank you to our auction chairs, Shelley Trashinsky. Please stand up.
Shelley.
Nancy Radofsky.
Nancy, where are you? We know you're here.
And Sharon Goby, where are you?
Sharon.
Where is she? Oh, there she is. And we also would like at this time all the Board of Ambassadors for this year to stand up and give them a round of applause.
So we are so excited and I think terrified at the same time to be part of the leadership of this event for next year. We are not going to be the only people that make a difference in this because literally, as you've heard tonight, it takes a village to do all of this. And we really want to acknowledge all of you. And I mean this sincerely, and I know that Michelle feels the same way that I do. If you were not here, the magic would not be possible. If you did not support either in dollars or in voting or in commitment or in support, the great work that the American Cancer Society does and the work that you do even without them would not be possible. So what I would encourage you all to do genuinely is to give yourselves a round of applause.
Hi there, I'm Tina Makua from Good Day Sacramento, and I'm participating in American Cancer Society's #BearHugs campaign. For a small donation, you can help a child going through cancer treatment by having a bear like this delivered. Join me today. Go to their website, cancer.org/bearhugs.
Hey, I'm Nikki B with the Golf Channel, and I'm staying home for pediatric cancer patients, and I'm sending bear hugs to you.
I'm staying home for childhood cancer, sending bear hugs to you.
Hi, I'm Allie.
And I'm Paula.
We work for GHD, and we're quarantining for pediatric cancer.
And we're sending bear hugs to you.
Yo soy Noel López con el Departamento de Bomberos de Woodland y yo me voy a quedar en casa para cáncer pediátrico.
Hi, I'm Eric Spears with Murphy Austin Adam Schoenfeld, and we are giving bear hugs to all the pediatric cancer patients.
Love you.
Hi, I'm Daryl, and I'm supporting the American Cancer Society's Bear Hug campaign. You see, I'm a 3-time cancer survivor, and I know all too well how difficult and painful it is to go through that journey. And it just breaks my heart to think about little ones that are going through the same. Won't you join me? Together we can make a difference. Okay, everybody, let's do this.
Hi, I'm Captain Jason Fong at Southwest Airlines. I'm supporting the search for a cure for pediatric cancer, and I'm sending bear hugs to you.
Hi, I'm Scott Christensen, part of the Adolescent and Young Adult Cancer Program at the UC Davis Comprehensive Cancer Center. And I'm sending a giant bear hug to you.
Hi guys, I'm Teresa McPherson with the American Cancer Society, and I've been quarantining to send this bear hug for you.
There's nothing in the way. There's nothing left to say. There's just a perfect day.
I was in the prime of my life. Everything was seemingly perfect, and I felt a lump. And it turned out it was cancer. Changed my world in an instant.
After I beat cancer the first time, I had Hodgkin's again. It came back. I would have to do a stem cell transplant, which would require me to stay in Charleston for 100 days. I knew I couldn't afford to stay in a hotel. It was overwhelming because I didn't know what was the next step.
Starting a laboratory as a young academic is difficult. I had applied for grant after grant after grant, and I was on the verge of shutting down my laboratory.
I was diagnosed with bladder cancer, and I was absolutely panicked, wondering how I was going to get to treatment. I was more concerned with my transportation than I was with my diagnosis.
My first call to the American Cancer Society was in the middle of the night. I just needed that support. I needed to talk to someone who can give me some facts about what was happening. It's a fearful time. And so to be able to have someone who you can call, there's no amount of value that can be put on that.
In a career-changing move for me, the American Cancer Society funded my first grant. That grant ultimately allowed me to leverage the talent in my laboratory to a larger grant, and then larger, more grants, and then to grow the adrenal cancer program that we have today.
Because of Road to Recovery, I never missed a single appointment. A huge relief for me to know that I was going to have people pick me up at my apartment and make sure I got to wherever I needed to go for my treatment.
The American Cancer Society helped me by allowing me to stay at the Hope Lodge. They offered me a place to stay for free while I received my stem cell treatment. And during that time, I was treated with nothing but love.
Our event will begin shortly, and I hope you've grabbed your drinks because I'd now like to introduce our entertainment for tonight. The Sacramento Ballet presents excerpts from the Sleeping Beauty prologue, danced by the talented young dancers of Sacramento Ballet's renowned trainee program. I hope you enjoyed that breathtaking performance by the Sacramento Ballet. I know I certainly did. And I really want to begin with a thank you. This is not the event, of course, that we expected, but you helped us pivot to create hope at home. And connecting in this way from dining table to dining table has actually turned out to be pretty magical. Here in my home and in yours, we are now surrounded by some of our very closest friends, and you'll meet one of mine in just a couple of minutes. We are all united in our passion to find better treatments, more support for families and for patients, and someday, of course, a cure for cancer. It doesn't matter what else is happening in the world. Those goals are always very urgent. And so we thank you for your flexibility, for your commitment, and we are so happy to be sharing this night in what's turned out to be really the most intimate of settings, our own homes. And so with this, I'd like to begin tonight's event welcoming the American Cancer Society CEO, Gary Reedy, and his wife, Cindy, to share a few words about continuing this fight against cancer during a pandemic.
Hi, I'm Gary Reedy, CEO of Your American Cancer Society, and this is my wife, Cindy.
Thank you so much for joining us from your home, and welcome to our home. Gary and I love events like this and wish we could see you in person, but we hope you feel our heartfelt thanks all the same. And we want to sincerely thank you for your continued dedication to the American Cancer Society mission and to inspire positive change.
And thank you for standing by cancer patients and their families when they need you the most. Your support is needed now more than ever because cancer hasn't stopped and neither have we. Your support allows us to be here for cancer patients during this tragic pandemic and beyond. It also allows us to fund life-saving research, provide direction and guidance, and safely resume patient services when the time is right. We are so grateful to you. And as Cindy said, we are so inspired by your dedication. So cheers to a wonderful evening. Thank you.
As we head into tonight's event, we want to really recognize and highlight those who have dedicated their time, their talent, and their energy to making tonight a success, especially given this new format. Our board of ambassadors has worked on this all year long and, of course, had to get very creative when we had to make some changes. And these two have worked hard to ensure that this night would be as interactive as possible. So please help me welcome our event co-chairs, Dr. Scott Christensen and Michelle Anapolsky.
We are here this evening because we are dedicated to helping the American Cancer Society continue the fight against cancer. Whether conducting research or funding it, their goal remains the same: a world free of cancer. A big thanks to my co-chair, Michelle, and of course, our amazing board of ambassadors for their efforts. This event would not be possible without them.
The American Cancer Society would be unable to continue their life-saving work if it weren't for supporters like you. Your unwavering dedication exemplifies the spirit of hope through support of our mission to save lives, celebrate lives, and lead the fight for a world without cancer.
And to those with us tonight, your continued efforts epitomize the core values of the Society, selflessly contributing your time, talent, and resources to help fund the programs and services that benefit patients every day. We're deeply grateful for each and every one of you and for all that you've done in the spirit of hope to help the Society. Thank you for being true partners of the fight against cancer and providing hope to those in need.
Scott and Michelle, thank you for all you have done. And we'd now like to hear from a dedicated volunteer and cancer survivor, Rick Field, who has a message of hope for us.
Thanks, Cindy, for that very nice introduction. My name is Rick Field. My cancer journey began a little over 4 years ago. I was diagnosed with chronic lymphocytic leukemia, or CLL as it is more commonly known, indirectly and not through an examination where it was expected, but through blood labs that were ordered for an unrelated issue. Upon the official diagnosis by a local hematologist-oncologist, I was told I have the good kind of cancer, where I would more than likely not die because of it, but would die with it. Then, expecting to hear the dreaded chemotherapy and radiation words as treatment, I was told my treatment would start with a watch and wait treatment plan by monitoring my blood labs every 4 to 6 months. I was both overwhelmed at this diagnosis and also felt like I got a get out of jail free pass at the same time. It was kind of a disease, non-disease diagnosis. Feeling a sense of purpose, I became involved with the local chapter of the American Cancer Society, volunteering to support fundraising events like the annual golf tournament and the annual Hope Gala. I also became involved with the CLL Society, where I've established and now lead a patient-centric support group for the greater Sacramento area. Additionally, I'm a frequent visitor and participant in webinars on blood-based cancers sponsored by organizations such as the CLL Society, the Leukemia and Lymphoma Society, the Lymphoma Research Foundation, as well as others. Through these involvements and hearing testimonials of many other cancer survivors, I've adopted the mantra of be well, be informed, be your own advocate, which has served me well in taking ownership of my care. After about 4 years of being on watch and wait, or as many CLL patients call watch and worry, my blood labs kept going in the wrong direction. This, coupled with a bone marrow biopsy that showed a high percentage of bone marrow impactment and being diagnosed with an extremely enlarged spleen, liver, and core lymph nodes, the determination was made that it was time for active treatment. I discussed treatment options with my local hematologist-oncologist and sought out an expert in CLL at a research hospital who offered both conventional treatments and clinical trial options. While all the treatment options were viable options with their own pluses and minuses, I chose a combo therapy treatment plan that was recently approved by the FDA as a first-line treatment for CLL just a year prior to the beginning of my treatment. This powerful non-chemo option would not have been possible without the clinical trials that ultimately led to the FDA's approval. The advances in treatment therapies for all types of cancers, including CLL, is exploding, with novel drugs and combination drug treatments currently in clinical trials or recently being approved for use. In turn, those clinical trials could have only happened when the necessary funding of research has been supported. Just think, it was only a few years ago that chemotherapy and stem cell transplants were the first line of treatment. Today, they have been replaced with less invasive, targeted, and immunotherapy drugs, offering a much longer progression-free survival with fewer side effects. I feel incredibly fortunate that I had multiple treatment options to choose from that offered me the best outcome and allowing me to receive my care close to home. I strongly encourage you to consider donating to the American Cancer Society to fund research. It's helping to save my life and maybe the life of someone you know and love.
Rick, thank you for sharing that story of hope. And obviously, hope is why we are all here right now. This is another reason I am personally involved in the fight against cancer. One of my closest friends, Margaret Teichert, who's also one of my dinner dates tonight. And one of the things that we've really been talking about lately is how cancer has kind of prepared you for a pandemic.
I know it's a weird silver lining to find in the middle of all this. But I feel like this is, the time that was spent unintentionally at home last year, recovering and being in bed and not having the energy to do these things. Well, now suddenly there is this gift, there is this new lens through which to look at the forced time together and the forced time to slow down and be reflective about what you have to do, to think about your bucket list more creatively. Mm-hmm. And so it is deeply frustrating. I too have kids at home who would rather be out playing with their friends, would rather be at school. But I am personally I'm finding reasons to treasure this time together. time to, make the sourdough starters or make the homemade jam or lie in a hammock and read Pride and Prejudice. There's a lot to...
And drink the wine.
And drink the wine with the people that we love. And so I feel as though there is a great opportunity here to not kind of succumb to the tyranny of the urgent, which we do so much in our daily lives. And I'm grateful for that lens. There's not much I'm grateful for about cancer other than my doctors. Thank you, those of you in the audience. But I definitely feel as though this is a time that I'm happy to have that perspective.
The other thing that really occurs to me is that with this pandemic, everything's new. We don't really know very much about COVID-19, but we do know a lot about cancer thanks to ACS and all of the research. And I mean, that literally saved your life.
Oh, yes. Oh, I know. I feel even the surgery that was done at the same day as reconstruction, which, sorry if that's TMI, but it was not possible 20 years ago. Mm-hmm. And all of the types of research and follow-up and medications that have been so much a part of my daily life that are frustrating in their own way are also, I'm so grateful for, to have this, to be able to look forward to my next birthday.
Yeah.
And celebrate it with friends.
And so when we're talking about donations to ACS tonight, this is exactly what we're talking about. It's the research that goes into better treatments, to finding a cure, to supporting patients, to supporting caregivers. So I'm so glad you're here.
Oh, I'm so happy to be here.
Scott?
Margaret, thank you for those powerful words, and thank you for agreeing to be next year's honoree. We cannot wait to celebrate with you in person, and we look forward to hearing more from you in 2021.
Yes, thank you, Margaret, and thank you everyone for joining us this evening. Even though we are not physically together, the spirit of togetherness is stronger than ever. Even in the midst of a worldwide pandemic, the American Cancer Society is committed to their life-saving mission of attacking cancer from every angle, and they can't do it without us. We'd be remiss if we didn't remind you all that right now, donating to the American Cancer Society will help the society continue to fund their life-saving mission and work towards eliminating a disease that affects countless men and women, people like you and me.
Cancer doesn't discriminate. It can happen to anyone. The good news? We don't have to sit around and wait. Right now, this minute, we have the opportunity to be proactive, get in the fight, and be part of the solution.
Tonight, your donations directly translate to resources, and those resources fund groundbreaking research that gives everyone with the disease a hope for tomorrow. And that hope starts right here, right now. Make your donations this evening.
Your support means services can continue and life-saving research can go on uninterrupted. Cancer hasn't stopped during this pandemic, and neither has the American Cancer Society.
This is not like anything we've experienced in our lifetimes, yet here we are in this virtual world fighting the good fight. And your support of the American Cancer Society means so much to those who are fighting to overcome this disease.
Scott and Michelle are so right. This is really just a moment in time, and things will get better. And hopefully this time next year, we will all be celebrating and holding our gala in person. Until then, of course, we encourage anyone who has been touched by cancer to reach out and volunteer, or hopefully to donate. We believe in a world without cancer, and we believe that one day we will be able to say that we beat it. But to get there, it really is going to take all of us working together. We can't do this without you. And you can donate at acsgvr.ejoinme.org. You have the information there on your screen. And also, I want to point out, we have an online auction this year, but it's being held a little bit later, October 20th through the 26th. And the items will include golf coaching sessions with Nikki B from the Golf Channel, a foursome at the Olympic Club, and a stay in Tahoe. So look for that, some pretty wonderful items there. Thank you for joining us tonight. Thank you for your dedication, for your flexibility. And we just want to say, be well, have a great night tonight. Think of us all being together, but from the comfort of our home. Have a great night.
Hi, I'm Gary Reedy, CEO of your American Cancer Society, and your support of our shared vision for a world without cancer means more than ever, because cancer hasn't stopped and neither have we. These are challenging times for cancer patients, but your American Cancer Society continues to be there, providing information, guidance, and support 24/7. Now, I can sense the spirit of hope at this event, and it's the spirit of hope. Hope for cancer patients, hope for our communities, and hope for our nation that can never be canceled. I am so grateful for your unwavering commitment to the American Cancer Society. The dedication of our volunteers and investors has never been stronger. So thank you for standing with cancer patients when they need you the most. And thank you for reminding us all that hope will always prevail.